30 seconds. Frankie says.
Oh, is he?
Frankie's sick today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I put the chair last. Yeah. So.
You ready then?
Yeah.
Right. I'd like to call the Will County Executive Board Committee meeting to order at 10:03. And Kelly, you're standing. Can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Cover, roll call, Jackie.
Williams. Butler. Dean Schlotman. Freeman. Hickey. Logan. Newquist. Ortiz. Pretzel. Richmond.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. First item up is the approval of minutes for for July 10th, 2025. Roll call, and then looks like discussion.
Williams. Butler. Dean Schlotman.
Yes.
Freeman. Hickey. Logan. Newquist. Ortiz. Trinier. Richmond.
Yes. All right, Julie? I'm
Thank you,
sorry.
Chair
I'm sorry,
Richmond.
whatever I'm supposed to call you.
No, no worries.
Ms. Burke, Member
I'm-
Berkowitz.
I'm not offended at all.
All right, well, thank you.
So I have a question regarding the minutes. I'm a little confused for the discussion on the mistake with the senior tax exemption. It has in the minutes, a motion to amend and then a vote. And was there a vote? I thought this was a discussion. And then we moved on to the next item. Because I know we were told the mistakes could not be corrected. The taxpayers, me and another unidentified taxpayer cannot get a refund. And then I believe we moved on, but I wasn't aware of a vote.
I didn't recall a vote either. Maybe, can you check into that? And can we approve them with just, or how do we handle that, Mary, then? I don't know how to turn it on.
So it's page 2.
We can,
Yeah.
we'll go back
Discussion.
and review the recording and we can represent the minutes for amendment at the next executive committee agenda on that.
Or can you do it at the board meeting then, or?
We can do it at the board meeting as well. I think we can. Yeah, we can do that. Yes.
So staff will look at it, and then what we'll do is we'll go and bring it back next Thursday. Okay,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
so what do we do with, because we kind of took a vote then, so what do I have to say anything, or we just,
I'm going to make a motion to reconsider or rescind. I don't know how you want to work it.
So you voted to approve the minutes already?
Yes.
Yeah, then you have to make a motion. Whoever voted in favor of approving, any member who voted it in favor of approving can make a motion to reconsider.
okay,
Reconsider. Motion to reconsider Trinier.
can we just do an all in favor, or do we have to do
Well,
a roll
we
call?
You
need
got to
a
have a
second.
second.
Second? Roll call?
Yes,
Previous
do
roll.
do a roll call.
All right, we'll do
Yeah,
it.
or you can do a previous roll call.
Williams.
Yes.
Butler. Dean Schlotman. Freeman.
Yes.
Hickey. Yes. Logan. Newquist. Ortiz.
So this is to take an amendment to not have that vote go through. We're going to bring this back next Thursday at the county board meeting. And staff will clear up the concern if there was or wasn't a vote in regards to it. Like you said, Chuck, it was not going to go smooth, so.
Trinier,
Yes.
So
Richmond.
I'm sorry, just an inquiry here. So are we taking a vote to not
Reconsider.
approve the minutes?
No, to
And then
reconsider.
are we going to postpone till next meeting? Is that what we're doing?
We're taking the state's attorney's advice right now.
So what you'll have to do is you're taking a vote right now to reconsider, and I think you'll take a second vote if I'm not mistaken, to send them back for review or send them to the county board committee for.
And so
See, and I
so
don't
basically,
think
we're
this
going to
should go
reconsider, we're going to re-vote on the minutes and we'll vote against approving them and then a motion to postpone till next month?
No,
It should be postponed to next month. The full board wasn't a part of this committee. I mean, I don't know, maybe that's appropriate, the state's attorney can say, but I would think that they would just need to come back to this committee next month.
Either way is legally appropriate.
Okay.
But I understand your concern that you would prefer members only from the committee to vote on the minutes.
You can speak. My law degree doesn't work anymore.
So why don't I recommend that, again, you've taken, you're in the middle of a vote to reconsider. After that, why don't then someone make a motion to send them back to the executive committee next month, where staff will correct that error then.
So, I'm sorry, and it's okay, I don't care. I just as a matter of formality, when you make a motion to reconsider, don't you re-vote? Isn't that the idea?
I think you're right in the middle of that process.
Yeah.
That's what's
But
coming.
then it would come back and then there would be the other motion. That's what you're saying.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Richmond,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right.
I still have a question.
So Member Trinier,
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, Chair, temporary speaker.
whatever. Yeah.
It sounds like somebody knew that this was going to come up, so maybe it would have been more appropriate that somebody make a motion just to remove this from the agenda this time? Or did we just not know about this till?
I had no idea.
Okay.
It's irrelevant and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, all
No,
I
I
want to do
just
is I
was
want to do
curious.
I want to do the business of the county. Let's move on. There was a
Yep.
question raised. I just want to make sure that we bring it back to wherever our state's attorney says it has to go. So,
Okay,
you know,
Yeah, I just wanted
hopefully
to
everybody's
understand.
happy.
thank you.
Send it back to.
All right.
executive.
Can I
Postpone until next month.
postpone until next month? If that works?
Yeah, so someone should make.
All right. All right. Previous roll? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. It's going back to next month. All right. The executive committee executive session of 7:10, we need a motion. Let's just do it. We would just do previous. Okay. Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item up is old business. Seeing no old business. New business. First item up is presentation of ARPA annual update by Anna. And she's walking forward. If you could hit that button and let's see if it turns on or what happens. Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here today. My name is Anna Sitton. I'm with Accenture, which was formerly Answer, the firm retained by the county to support the implementation of the ARPA program. I was asked to join you here today to provide a high-level update and overview just on the progress that we've made to date. We did submit an annual report to the U.S. Department of Treasury on July 31st, and this is a reflection of those numbers as of June 30th, 2025. Next slide. As a recap for the program, these funds were authorized under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. Will County received an award of over $134 million. We've worked closely with the county board to prioritize and identify projects and programs mainly geared towards subrecipients within the community. This program was designed to address public health, economic impacts, support essential workers, and invest in infrastructure. The county was able to facilitate that by the implementation of 6 pillars: public health, infrastructure, unmet needs, economic development, administration, and revenue replacement. Just as a reminder, these projects all must align with U.S. Treasury's guidelines for eligibility and be in compliance with federal requirements under 2 CFR 200, which are the procurement and standards associated with the facilitation of federal funds. This was an opportunity for the county to use their funding flexibly to assist the community, which is what I'll share a little bit about today. As you can see here, this is the current snapshot under the pillars. Again, this spending is as of June 30th, 2025. I do want to note for health and infrastructure, those percentages are a bit lower for a couple reasons. Infrastructure primarily because those projects are still ongoing and will end in November for the bunch that will be completed this year. We're anticipating that 60% of all infrastructure projects will be complete by the end of this year. So we will anticipate seeing an influx of spending in the next quarter, Q3 of 25, and finally in Q4 of 25, which will be reflected in October and January updates. Health, that program is more of a steady state reimbursement program. So that funding is primarily going to staffing and operations for our healthcare subrecipients. So we see a steady tick up of expenditures on a month-to-month basis, again, because we're mostly applying that to staffing and operations. Next slide. Unmet needs was the pillar that was authorized to entities throughout the community that did not receive direct allocations from the ARPA SLIFRIF program, including fire districts, libraries, parks, and townships. So as you can see here, libraries, parks, and townships are the remaining sub-pillars under that unmet needs program. Fire has been completed at least for the last year, if not a little bit longer. So you can see that libraries has only a little bit remaining, with nearly 88% of districts spending their entire award. Park districts just over 230,000 remaining, and townships just over 600,000. Similarly to health and infrastructure, for capital projects that are under these pillars, they will be anticipated to be complete by the end of this year. And any operations will have steady spending through the end of 2026. So we are still on track for completion of those. And Laraway, just as a highlight here, that was awarded for the radio and equipment migration across 50 municipal districts. And they have spent nearly their entire award. We are just wrapping up with anticipation of that completion by the end of this year as well. We wanted to highlight a few infrastructure projects. This is in no way exhaustive, but just for reference, Tinley Park and Manhattan Fire District completed in the last quarter. Tinley Park had the opportunity to improve their data control system, which allows for management and oversight of their water system for contaminants or for any breaks within the system. They also were able to install a backup generator and a new pump station, which makes the entire system more reliable and effective for the residents within Will County. Manhattan Fire Department was awarded funds to support the development of their new safety complex in conjunction with the Village of Manhattan. So they were able to utilize the funding for the foundation of their water and sewer infrastructure components associated with the development of that building or facility. And additionally, we've also supported the Village of Shanahan, Troy Township, and Shorewood for their sewer and sanitary improvements, well drilling, and the improvement of the Ron Lee Estates storm sewer system, which has improved flooding and access for individuals within that housing complex. Next slide. Again, health, this is a very high level overarching update. Again, not exhaustive of the subrecipients that we do have. But to note, United Way of Will County, they implemented an initiative to support the food service infrastructure for those that are in need of food assistance across the county. They are working with 5 partners to increase service delivery, the network of food access through pantries, education, and the implementation of new food access facilities. Silver Cross received $737,500 to renovate and open their new healthcare facility in Crest Hill that just opened back in June. And then Aunt Martha's received payroll support to increase operations and bring additional services to residents in that area. Next slide. Thank you. Economic development, we highlighted our housing programs here. Again, this is not exhaustive. This entire pillar included negative economic impact payments to nonprofits and small businesses, which were completed last year. We also utilized this pillar to fund housing initiatives throughout the county, 2 of those being Guardian Angel Community Services and Will Grundy Medical Clinic, 2 innovative approaches that qualify under the housing, overarching housing project expenditure category. So Guardian Angel was able to support 485 individuals in eviction prevention services, house 11 victims of domestic violence, and then provide supportive service to 100 individuals through their community service project. Will Grundy has a housing and Housing is Health program, which enabled them to provide prescriptions, provide additional support for staff, and to enable residents within the community to get housing as healthcare under this project. Next slide. I wanted to provide just a quick snapshot here of what we have left. It is hard to believe that we are only 6 quarters away from the completion of this project. What we are supporting with the county and the ongoing support of these projects are monitoring, spending tracking, project management, and program closeout. So we will be done spending by the end of Q4 2026 with a final report back to the federal government in April of 2027. So just like I said, 6 quarters left and just over a year and a half to go. And finally, just to note, we have obligated all of the funding that was required by the federal government as of 12/31/24, with anticipated closeout on expenditures by December of 2026. To date, or as of 6/30/25, 61% of all funding has been expended, and we are continuing to work with over 200 subrecipients across the county, nonprofits, municipal governments, and the like, to support the ongoing efforts of the ARPA program. So with that, if there's any questions.
Yeah, I just get confused with all these numbers and dates.
Yeah.
So our responsibility is up, like we have to fulfill our responsibility by the end of 2025? Is that it?
We have
As
to,
far as getting rid of the money?
no, we have to expend everything by the end of 2026. So we
Okay.
still have a full year.
So
Over a year.
we still got to December 2026.
Correct.
And then, and all those townships have till then to
Correct.
get their projects completed?
Yes, completed and expended in the association with the scope around ARPA.
Okay, thank you.
Member Ogalla.
Thank you. And I do remember that we gave JJC some money for teachers, nurses
Yep.
maybe.
Mhm.
What do we know? What can you tell us about those programs? How many students applied for them? How
Sure.
many have graduated?
Yeah, so back in 2022, there was $10 million that was issued to 4 institutions across the county: Joliet Junior College, University of St. Francis, Lewis University, and Governor State University. They each received $2.5 million to implement the scholarship program called HEROES. That is for students that are getting a healthcare or education degree, depending on the level that they're at and the school that they attend. We have had JJC has expended their funds, so they have successfully completed their program. And we're working with the four-year institutions on expenditure through the end of 2026. As far as specific numbers, I would have to go back. I don't want to misquote and pull those. We do have an update as of June 30th as well. So I'd be happy to share that with the board.
Okay, so we did see that was a very good program. There was
Yes.
a lot of interest
Yes.
in doing this.
Yep, and we have ongoing meetings with the partners to just, review opportunities to market, bring more attention to it, partnerships with other entities to bring awareness and, ongoing support for that program.
Okay, so these groups also have till the end of December next year to
Correct.
have the students apply, get those grants, and then
Correct.
take the classes.
Yep.
It would be great to know how many we were in total. I don't know that we need to know specific because it's irrelevant to that, but if we knew we had helped 20 students versus 50 or
Yes.
100, and what was the amount each student was given? Do you remember that?
Yeah, so each student was eligible for 2,500 per semester or 5,000 for the academic year, as long as they were enrolled in the healthcare or education program. So JJC students could potentially get 2 years, or depending on how long they were at JJC, and then for the 4 years, obviously 4 years if they remain in the program.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Member Berkowitz.
Thank you. I would like to request for all of the county board members a detailed list of who the recipients are in each pillar.
Sure.
Can we get that information?
Yes, it
The-
is.
The organization and the dollar amount that they've received?
Yeah, so with the annual report that was just posted, it is available online. It does include all that information with project profiles associated with each of those. So I can share the link.
So share the link with the staff and staff will
Yeah.
push it out to everybody.
Okay,
right.
thank you. And then also, I'd also like to know who the entities are that the Will County map distributed to as
Sure.
well?
Yes, it was Holston Community Development, National Hookup for Black Women, Salvation Army, New Hope Community Church, and I'm going to look to my partners, and United Way.
Okay, and I thought you mentioned that was specifically for food insecurity.
Yes.
So what does Holstein do? I'm aware of them, but I didn't know they
Feel
were
free to come up.
food
Yeah.
security.
Yeah, they do have a pantry, if I recall, but my
Okay.
colleague who manages that program, Sabrina Kavaznika, can advise further.
Thank you.
Sabrina, if you could just state your name, that'd be great. Thanks.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sabrina Kavaznika. I'm a grant manager with Accenture, and I work with the Food for All program is what that's called with MAP. So Holston Human Capital Development, what they're doing is they're doing healthy, like a healthy kitchen classes, allowing the residents of the Riverwalk community to gain sanitation licenses for employment opportunities. And then also they do have a food pantry as well. So that's what Holston is up to with MAP.
Okay. And is that information also on the website?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And then I had a question regarding the monies that we received. Are we getting interest on the ARPA funds that have not been, well, during this whole process, are we getting interest on this money? And where is it held?
I would have to ask the executive
That would be the treasurer.
treasurer. Yes.
And from what was indicated before is that they were gaining interest on those funds.
Where?
You know what I'll do is I'll
Yeah.
have staff get that information from Tim and we'll
Okay.
provide it to everybody.
So Anna, when the actual allocation, you just give that information to the treasurer and then they take it from there? The actual release of the money and distribution of it?
For the interest or for the 134?
For the payment. I know the treasurer has to tell us, disclose whether or not we get any interest and where it's held.
Sure.
But what about the distribution of the ARPA funds to the organization?
Sure. So we work directly with the finance department. I actually have very limited engagement with the treasurer's office. So we work with finance to provide backup documentation to them regarding the request for reimbursement from the subrecipient. And then finance processes those payments internally.
Okay, and then we've got here over $6 million for administration costs. That includes the fee that we pay okay.
Correct.
We're at 82%. What is the final cost for that?
That is the 6 million in that, or the 6,163,730.
That's going to be your
But-
final number as
But
far
that
as.
isn't your final, that's 82%. I'm asking what will the final cost be at the end of when the program is completed?
Was it a percentage of the 134
It's-
million?
Yeah, so it's
And that
the,
that 6.8 represents that percentage, right?
correct, yeah, the
Okay.
6 million includes a little bit of other programs, but it's primarily administration of the program,
But that's your top line number,
correct?
correct? Okay.
Okay, that number on,
It's not going to be 7 or 10 or nothing like that.
No,
thank you.
That's a top line number. Member Hickey?
Hi, thank you very much. So thanks for this report. I really appreciate it. And I might have missed this bit of information, but with the 200 subrecipients that still have outstanding receipts, I assume, to turn in, what is the follow-up process with them?
Sure. So it's not necessarily outstanding receipts. It's just the ongoing management of the project. So they may still be in process of completing their project or program, or they may be compiling all the required documentation associated with that. So we have project managers that are assigned to every single project that we facilitate, and they are working with them on a daily basis to request documentation. I know there's a few folks in the room that have had involvement with that, and we are bugging people to get that documentation. So yes, we are working diligently with the subrecipients on a regular basis to request that, and working with them if there's obstacles or concerns in regards to that.
Perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was at the township before this, and really, while we got funds, we didn't necessarily have staff to manage all of it. So I'm glad that you're doing all those reminders. Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Welcome.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions. Thank you very much, Anna.
Thank you, everybody.
Next item up is a discussion of strategic plan with Mary Beth Hearn from St. Francis. Oh, push your little button there.
Here we
There you
go.
Perfect. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Mary Beth Hearn. I work at University of St. Francis as the founding director of the Center for Nonprofit Excellence. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you today about an idea that we had to do a strategic planning proposal with the Will County Board. Perfect. So some of you know University of St. Francis. We've been around since 1920. Just to give you a quick overview, we're actually housed within the university. So university has 4 colleges: College of Education, College of Nursing, College of Business, and College of Arts and Sciences. Many of you in the room might also be alumni. And the reason I bring this up is when we work with nonprofits and government institutions, we are going to bring together people from the community who are in positions that where they are subject matter experts and they're leading the way in their communities. So we established the center in 2022 to provide efficient and value-added professional services to Will County nonprofits. And we recognize that they have limited financial resources, and so we're looking to help them because many times an executive director at a nonprofit wears about 12 hats. If you've served on nonprofits, you understand this. And so what we're trying to do is bridge the gap between the projects that they need to complete and the programs that they might want to put together, but they just don't have the staffing or resources to do it. And so what the Center for Nonprofit Excellence does are 3 things. 1, we educate. From 4 to 6 times a year, we provide opportunities for nonprofits to come to the campus and learn about things like board governance or Robert's Rules of Order. In fact, we had one of your members last month, Daniel Butler, who was actually our speaker, and it was well received to educate nonprofits on how to use Robert's Rules of Order. So projects like that. We also do project specific. I had a nonprofit in youth development who came and said, we raise a lot of money for youth development and we'd love to show the donors what the impact of their dollars are actually going to. They wanted to have an etiquette dinner where we educated 40 youth on table manners and etiquette. And so they didn't have the resources or the person to do it. So I found a subject matter expert. We got a location. We put the whole thing together. So we don't provide people. We provide a project with a start time, a project that we complete with deliverables and an end time. So hopefully that kind of explains it. And then the other part that we do are things like strategic planning. So we've worked with several nonprofits in the area on strategic planning, and that's really what I wanted to cover today, because it's really hard to work on your business, if you will, when you're in it. And you're all in this, plus a lot of other things that you're committed to. And so what we wanted to do is show you kind of what we're thinking. So if you can say Will County now, perfect. So just what I've gleaned from my favorite AI and reading all the various projects and proposals and PR that you've put out. This is what a snapshot is that I'm seeing that Will County is doing right now. And you really can't effectively work on all of these different areas if you don't have a vision, and B, know what you're doing that's tying up to these various areas. And the biggest one is people getting along so that we can make these initiatives happen. So part of the program is that we would not only look at project outcomes and what your goals are, you'd be providing all of that input, but also making sure that the people part of this is an integral approach to the strategic plan. So if you can click on next one. So our team's approach is, if we move forward, we have one appointed person or a committee of 3, let's say, that comes, I meet with, and we really kind of do a discovery session of what do you want the survey process to look like? Who's going to get surveyed? What are we going to ask? How is it going to help us inform decisions? And all of this would be based on inclusive and data-driven methodologies. So we're not going to do anything that's not already been tested or is not already something that we've seen in other industries or in the business world itself. Again, I have an entire College of Business to rely on. So from there, we look at what is the vision, and then strategic development and implementation and planning. So whether we're working across the aisle or across the street, this is going to give us tools to actually look at what is the impact of what I'm doing in this room and what is the impact of what I'm doing outside of this room to make sure that the initiatives that were on that previous slide on the Will County Now are actually happening. So if you can click one more. So I give you a fictitious, right? So let's just say I had a contract today and everyone said, yes, we want to be more efficient. Yes, we want to work together. This is what it looks like. I would develop an entire contract. Everything is in writing. I love things that are deliverables and time sensitive and everyone knows exactly who's on what page. I work as the project manager. So I am the interim between your body of people and the consultants to make sure that the approach is exactly what we said it was going to be in this proposal. So the first thing we would do is a discovery session, let's just say early September, and then a survey was developed and would go out for a period of time. Again, this is all fluid. So September 22nd to October 15th, we put a survey out. This would be a digital survey. People could take it at any time and convenience of their leisure. In addition, there would be an appreciative inquiry model that we would use for Zoom calls. These would be 15 to 30-minute conversations with each one of the constituents to kind of learn more about, from a positive approach, where are we at now and where could we be, right? So kind of an imaginative approach instead of where I've seen a lot of strategic plans go wrong is, here's all the things that are wrong. And we can't start from weakness. We have to start from strength. So what is working and how can we move forward? So those Zoom calls take place for about a month's time. All of that data is collected with the survey, and then that would be presented at the 2 planning workshops in January. And that's when we really start to look at, okay, this is what the picture looks like. How do we then take this and take it to the next step? I've embedded, as you notice, Clifton Strengths. So has anyone heard of Gallup, the polling company, before? Yes. So Gallup owns Clifton Strengths. This is a personality profiling test that gives constituents a way to have a shared language. So for example, if someone is an achiever and I also happen to be an achiever, we have a conversation about how that shows up for Daniel and how it shows up for me. It allows us to come to some common shared language. And as you know, words matter. And so once we start seeing some commonalities, it can actually really build better teams, because if I know where you're coming from a strength standpoint, I might be able to change the way that I communicate the things that I need to get done, et cetera. So it really is a team building, strengthening, just sense of belonging sort of exercise. So that Clifton Strengths is an assessment that you take, and then I would come out and do a 2-hour presentation. I'm certified as a Gallup Strengths coach. My doctoral research was on employee engagement. I live and breathe this stuff. I love it. I know it can work. And then after all this timeline, you would get a final written plan in February that would include a 12-month, 3-year and 5-year insights. So it's not a total 5-year plan, but it is based on this trajectory. This is what we're thinking. These are the kinds of committees you might want to look at putting together to move some of these initiatives forward. So everything sounds good, but now what's the money? Okay, so the money is $13,878. I basically put through the survey being developed, the interview with the 22 members, the initial findings report, the Clifton Strengths assessment, and the 2-hour session in person, plus the strategy sessions in person. So that's like 3 sessions. I know it's a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. And the final written report with a 12-month, 3-year, and 5-year insight. The negative $1,700 is the subsidy from the University of St. Francis's Center for Nonprofit Excellence. Our goal is to help reduce the costs for all of our nonprofits so that they can make Will County better. We want to make sure our students contribute to the world through work and service, and we want to make sure they have a place to do that. So, so it makes sense for us to put through that number. And then, so the final would be $12,178, and it's 2 invoiced installments, 1 at contract and 1 before close, which means right before that 30-day report is handed in, or usually the day of, we know everybody has been paid. Here's what is quickly different about our approach than others. I'm not taking that $1,700 off of the subject matter experts' pay, so they're never going to feel like they didn't get what they normally would and then give us less of a service. We're going to make sure that the team that we're putting together for you is subject matter experts in their field, and that this is the going rate of what they should be getting paid, and that everyone feels like they have a contributing value. What I see in the nonprofit world is, hey, can you do it for free? And we all know where that goes. So this actually puts real numbers behind it with a plan that can work. That is the final part of my presentation. I hope we can work together to make Will County even stronger. And I'd like to know if you have questions. Yes.
Member Turner.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a wonderful presentation. My question is for the speaker or the chair. It says discussion here, so we're not voting on this today. Where would that decision take place? Who would be making it? Because this seems like it would come out of the county board budget, and I would assume that Mr. Van Dyne would make that decision, but I don't know that.
So I'll give you what little bit of information I'm
Thank you.
aware of, and I have some. Member Williams brought the strategic plan forward 6 months ago. Sherry, is that a fair statement? It was discussed that we could, should look at something like this. There was something brought forward from Peoria. In turn, I don't know how University of St. Francis got involved, but they're a local entity, and however it happened, and that's how we got to today's presentation. So you're right, there will be no vote today. It's a matter of information. And now I'm going to lean to staff is this something that, when was the thoughts of bringing this forward to the whole board?
Well, this was presented to the staff, and we just received the presentation literally just a couple of days ago.
Yep.
So we were unaware that there was a financial component or decision that would have to be made with regard to that. We initially put it on as a discussion item, so I would imagine it would probably have to come back to the executive committee possibly next month
So
for further discussion on that, and we could add on to that
Put it for a
discussion.
Does it have to go to finance at all, or?
that would be at the pleasure of the.
We'll figure it out. How's that?
Yeah.
We'll figure it out.
It's fine. I have a follow-up question or just a comment. I just wanted to let you know, we did do this before. I don't know if Ms. Winfrey had been on the board at that time, but right after I got on the board in 2009, we had a strategic planning session. I believe we were at St. Francis, believe it or not.
Before my time, but maybe.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure we were there in a big room. And I know part of what came out of there was the decision to really try to move forward with the strategic plan for all of our infrastructure needs here in the county. Mary, were you there? You were there. And we came up with the mission statement and vision statement that are in the committee room. I don't remember exactly what else, but those things in particular. So we have done this before. This is not
Let's dig it up.
unusual or different or whatever.
Dig up what-
I don't know at that time if there was some kind of vote by the board to expend the funds or if this was just something that was done in the budget. And I don't recall, but maybe our
So I
state's attorney.
think it's
can-
in the best interest then, I just spoke with Chuck here, is maybe what we could do is dig up what was done. and
Mary
provide
might know.
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but provide everybody whatever documentation may still be available, so. Fair?
Yeah, I think that there was a vote in the past to engage someone to conduct, a strategic planning session, and we did meet. I want to say we had 3 sessions, 3 days of meeting where they discussed all of these things, went through, and they, I think primarily the end result was the mission and vision statements.
So we'll get that information out and then we'll figure out how to navigate these waters. Fair enough? Member Williams.
Thank you. Just wanted to thank Dr. Hearn for coming here at my request. My idea was to see if the board was willing to do this or had any desire to do this, is what that prompted this. And of course, we know we have to pay for it. So that to me is just kind of understood, and it would have to come out of the budget, maybe our budget, whatever. But yeah, if this was just an initial discussion to see the interest, and then we would move on from there is the way I had envisioned it. So
No,
thank you.
Thank you, Sherry, for bringing that forward. Thank you. So, thank you very much. Beth.
Thank you very
And
much.
I'm sure staff will be back in touch with you on any next steps.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, did you have a
I
question?
got to tell you, this is not easy up here sometimes, so I apologize.
What did I miss? Oh, did someone
Before
have-
You can't leave.
Oh,
So I just,
Go ahead.
so, okay, this is in direct response to your wanting to do a strategic plan for the whole board. Okay, so now I understand the connection here, and you're saying that this is not uncommon. We've done this before. So this is a practice. I actually think it's a great idea because, I mean, there's a lot of partisanship going on and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice to have an outside party come in and identify some things that we agree on, and where the whole team can work together to actually move the county forward in a positive way. So I kind of like it, So I would definitely be in support of it.
Thank you. Mary Beth, thank you very much. for-
thank you.
Wait.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I looked up before, I didn't see any lights, and then all right, so,
Really quick,
all right.
I just want to echo some of the sentiments that were shared here already by board members and say that I am in full support of this. I think it's a great idea. We definitely, like Member Butler said, we need to come together and find some common ground. And, a lot of the times we're up here and we argue about, personal things, beliefs or whatever, but I feel like there's a lot of common ground that we have. And then I think bringing this, third party in is really going to help us just kind of focus on what we all care about. So I really do think that's necessary. And I love that we've already done this before. I think it needs to be done again because that was like half my lifetime ago. So I know some people are, yes, I have to put it in perspective for you guys because I know sometimes they're like 15 years, yeah, we've already done this, but like I was like 15 at that time. So I think this is a good thing to do. I hope everybody can get on board and that we can find the $12,000 to make it happen. It's like a drop in the bucket. I think we spend more money on food in our budget than we do this. And I think it would be a really good cause to get together and find out where we can move forward with the county and our collective priorities. So I'm in full support. Thank you.
Member Ogalla.
Thank you. I'm sorry, how much money is this going to cost?
It was 12,178, I believe.
12,178?
Yep.
Member Berkowitz.
Thank you, Chair Richmond. So I just want to say that Dr. Hearn came before us at the Nature Foundation of Will County. We completed this program. It was an excellent process. I felt the individual session as well as the session where we collaborated, we did team building exercises. We had a lot of positive results from this program. But I do want to mention the structure of the Nature Foundation being a true nonprofit is so much different than the county board.
Correct.
So I would like, your program maybe tweaked a little bit more to the specific organization of the county board. Because it's
100%.
very different.
So what we did with the Nature Foundation of Will County was actually a board, we almost wanted to call it like a board retreat because there were a lot of new board members that had come on and they wanted to just start some unity. How do we work together and what are you interested in? What's your passion? So that was a 2-hour workshop. That is a drop in the bucket compared, this is an entire strategy. So yes, it would be adapted 100% for this group. We don't do anything cookie cutter and everything that we produce is based on positive psychology because your time is limited, right? And so let's make it as positive as possible. When people walk out of that room, I want them to at least feel like I can take this actionable insight immediately and do something good with it. And it'll carry on besides these walls, in your other interactions at home and at work and everywhere else. So yeah, we would certainly have input. You have input the entire process. You tell us who the stakeholders are. You're telling me what are the hot buttons that we need to survey about. Just one quick example. I had a nonprofit that had existed a certain way for a very long time, and they had one particular event that the executive director there thought everyone loved, and apparently no one did, but no one told them, right? And so they spent a lot of time, energy, and effort on this particular event because they were trying to be nice to the person instead of looking at the data to say, why are we doing this? Is this really what's, you know what I mean? So you're doing a lot of work, but if we could focus it in ways that would, be more efficient or make you feel better about it, that would really be the win on a strategic plan. And it would be, it does start with mission and vision, but you're not getting mission and vision for $12,000. That's you're gonna get a lot more than that. So that's the foundation, but it really has to be a bigger picture of how do all the components work together.
Thank you, Member Newquist.
Thank
Looked
you.
around this time.
What?
I looked around this time.
So I am going to rain on the parade a little bit. In general, I'm really supportive of exercises like this. I mean, it sounds to me like the goal would be to work together as a board to identify some goals that we wanted to accomplish as a board and how to work together to get to those goals, which in theory is a great idea. But in another year, little over a year, we're going to have a whole new board. And that we may or may not have a whole new board, depending on, people that don't run, people that don't, get reelected. So that new board could have a completely different set of priorities. So is this something we would do every 2 years with each board session? I mean, I'm just saying, I think it's a great idea, but in practice, we could do all this work and have it, fall by the wayside. That's my only comment. Thank you.
Member Williams.
I do. I agree that that's probably something to consider, but we have plans that we do with almost every other department that we do. And those people can change, staff changes all the time too. This is more foundational. So if we put the foundations into effect, then we can tweak it as we need to, is the way that I see it.
Seeing nothing else, thank you. Oh, wait a second.
Mhm.
Oh, all right. Member Winfrey.
Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Hearn, for being here. And sort of in response to Member Newquist's concern, and it is certainly a valid one, but I would expect that what will happen is there will be follow-up at the 2-year mark, and you would, for new members, would have a chance to learn what the current strategy is, vision, mission, and then to look at what their place might be in relation to that and how they would fit in. So it would be an ongoing piece of work.
Yes, I would agree.
Okay, seeing no one else, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Did I hit the button?
You can just leave it. That'll be fine. Next up is number 3, approval of Humboldt Toll Road Memorandum of Understanding with United Bridge Partners. It's all yours, sir.
Thank you very much. You have in your packet, ladies and gentlemen, you have a resolution and the form of an amendment to an agreement that the board approved back in 2016 relating to the construction of a toll bridge across the Des Plaines River from access from I-80 to the Center Point properties. And this was a massive project. They built the bridge across the river to help alleviate public traffic off the interstate and off of Route 53. This bridge was completed, I believe, in 2022 and open to traffic. During that period of time, there was another development, North Point, which is referred to as Eastgate, bought some property, and they were in negotiations with the city of Joliet to develop this area. And during that time, there was discussion of opening up one of the access points off of Route 53 that under the memorandum of understanding that was executed by the city, the county, and CenterPoint, that would have violated technically the terms of the memorandum of understanding. If truck traffic was going to be allowed on Millsdale Road, that would decrease traffic off the toll bridge because it would be a free access point off of Route 53, and it would increase the truck traffic on that road, which was part of the reason why they constructed the bridge. The county has an interest in this bridge because we get a small portion of the tolls. The revenue varies. It's not a significant amount of money. I think it's between $10,000, $15,000 a year that we may receive. Sometimes it's less depending on the truck traffic and economic conditions. So there was litigation filed by the bridge partners, the people that constructed the bridge, because they were afraid that the access to Millsdale Road off of Route 53 would decrease the truck traffic on the toll bridge. And there needs to be truck traffic on the toll bridge because they've got to finance the construction of the bridge. And the tolls that are taken from that truck traffic are to help pay off the debt that was incurred by the bridge partners in order to build the bridge. The bridge was, I believe, between $150 and $200 million to construct. So the tolls for the trucks that come in across this bridge to get access to the Center Point properties is needed in order to pay off that indebtedness. The fear of the bridge partners was if there was a open access point on Route 53 for the trucks to travel without paying the toll, well, the trucks are going to stop taking the toll bridge. They're going to start driving on Route 53 because they don't have to pay the toll. So there was litigation regarding that. That went on for several years. It went up to the appellate court. There were federal court things. We were peripherally involved in this litigation, but the main dispute was between the city and the bridge partners because the city was taking actions to allow some truck traffic on Millsdale Road. So there was a settlement of this litigation earlier this year. which is going to require the construction of a cul-de-sac on Millsdale Road that'll kind of prevent truck traffic going into the Center Point property. And that the closure or the creation of this cul-de-sac is going to kind of close that road off, and it's going to make sure that there is truck traffic going on the toll bridge, which is in our interest to an extent because we receive revenue from the tolls, a very small piece of that revenue. So we want to see the tolls, and we want to see the bridge partners get paid because they did, as the board knows from way back, that we want to encourage the private-public investment that was created here. So there was a settlement. Under the terms of the memorandum of understanding, all parties have to agree to the change. And the main change, again, is to the flow of traffic on Millsdale Road. That was the point of contention of litigation. That was, the bridge did not want access from Route 53 to interfere with the truck traffic and the toll revenue. So there has been a settlement. As part of that, although nothing changes with regard to our requirements or obligations under the agreement, the changes were essentially they're going to construct a cul-de-sac, and there's going to be some additional incentives to keep the truck traffic on the toll bridge and give some flexibility to the city to make needed repairs. I'm here because we need, as part of the members of the as a party to the memorandum of understanding, we have to approve the amendment as well, although there are no real changes on behalf for our rights and obligations on the agreement. Does anybody have any questions?
Do we have a clean roll call or should I just take a roll call? There's Cleveland. Do you have previous? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, should be all set. Thanks, Scott. All right, next up is line item number 4, authorizing the county executive to execute a memorandum of understanding with the University of Chicago Argonne LLC to provide access to the county-wide radio system. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, authorizing county executive to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the town of Dyer, Indiana to provide access to the county-wide radio system. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 6, authorizing county executive to execute an intergovernmental agreement with the Lowell Volunteer Fire Department to provide access to the county-wide radio system. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, the appropriating state of Illinois grant funds in the sheriff's budget. Can I get a motion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 8, ordinance amending chapter 35 of the Code of Ordinances. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, ordinance amending chapter 39 of the Code of Ordinances. Can I get a motion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 10, ordinance to amend chapter 42 of Code of Ordinances. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 11, ordinance amending chapter 43 of Code of Ordinances. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Other new business? Seeing none. No request for state's attorney's opinion. Moving on to committee reports. First one up is Public Works and Transportation.
I actually do have a request for the state's attorney.
Oh, okay.
I'll make the request to you.
All right.
I had asked it informally at the Public Works Committee. I was talking to the state's attorney that was there that day. My question was, my familiarity with government, including our own forest preserve, is that the board should approve a request to go out for bid before we actually go out for bid. And we do that in the forest preserve on a regular basis. And my experience with townships has been the same. But with the county board in particular, with the Public Works and Transportation Committee, we're never asked about going out for bid. They go out to bid, they bring the bids to us.
You just get the results.
And we just see the results. And so I would like to understand why there is that difference. And it's just a point of understanding for me as the
Clarification
chair
is good.
and as a board member. And
Yep.
I don't expect they have the answer today, but I wanted to present that idea to the chair today to see if we could get an answer.
So absolutely. So I just looked at Chuck. He nodded his head. That to me signifies that he's going to get us an answer, and you'll have it for the next Public Works and Transportation meeting.
Great.
So they're done.
Everything passed unanimously in committee. So we're moving forward. At least that's my recollection of my memory. That was over a week ago now, so.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Next up, capital improvements in IT.
We have nothing to bring forward. There were some reports in there on file.
All right. Finance.
Just a couple of points. The authorizing use of contingency funds for the sheriff adult detention facility, after a lot of discussion on that, we are basically postponing that so that they can go back and revisit the budget and see if there's any wiggle room. So I don't expect that to be on the agenda. Chuck, you're shaking your head, did it? Okay, I said that correctly? Okay, great. And then the only other thing was the amending the predictable fee schedule for the recorder of deeds. That was basically based on state recommendations. So those two things, along with just the general appropriating grant budgets, will be in the agenda.
Coming up on the fun season, so that's good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Member Newquist. Legislative, I don't see Member Ortiz here. Anybody from legislative anything? Okay, seeing none. Public health and safety, Member Butler.
Yeah, we're going to have a resolution, Will County Cares resolution, and we're going to be moving that forward at our next meeting just to discuss it.
That's it. Land use and development. I know Frankie's out sick. Anything from land use and development?
I just want to point out that the meeting lasted 55 minutes. So
Wow.
hopefully we'll have a nice smooth sailing at the board meeting.
Okay. Good report. Landfill?
There is nothing to bring forward as I was not able to be at this meeting this month. I'm going to let Vice Chair Hickey speak to what went on.
Sure. Mr. Fallon came and gave us an update on the landfill and investigating the different growth possibilities. And we had Mr. Harkey came and addressed an issue with regard to some trash on the roads leading up to the landfill. So I appreciate both of them coming and sharing all their information with us and doing all that work. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Executive, I don't have anything to report. Just did it. Appointments by county executive. Approving appointments by the county executive for the Shanahan Fire Protection District. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Public comments. I'm not seeing anybody from the public, but I'll ask it 2 more times. Public comments, anybody? Nobody is online or anything? Last call for public comments. We're good. Comments by county board members. Mr. Butler.
So we slightly hit on the debris around the dump. And I know Mr. Harkey gave a report on, how much debris was coming from what trucks, but there's a lot of garbage. It's all over the roads. It's right next to the dump. I mean, logically, we would have to say that it's garbage trucks going to the dump. Honestly, I was driving down the road. I wanted to take a picture. I was next to a garbage truck and all the garbage blowing out of it was just, like it just kept coming out. And all I'm saying is, I'm not trying to point fingers or anything, but I feel like we have to get this garbage picked up somehow. And I would like to see some initiative. I know if it costs us money, it costs us money, but we have to pick up the garbage. We can't just leave it there.
Member Chenier.
Thank you, Chairman. I am going to speak with Jeff Ronaldson in Public Works, and I had already spoken with the speaker, Van Dyne, about reaching out to Wilmington to see if they can maybe there's some way they have people that come to them in various ways for public service, if we can kind of point them to this area. Those were two things that I thought of right away, because you do have a lot of people that come from the courthouse that have to do community service, sometimes hundreds of hours. And this would be one of those areas where we could point them and they could, do the service. The issue with that is somebody has to supervise the program, has to, maintain a written record of when they started, when they stopped, so that their hours are officially counted. And then maybe there are some community do-getting groups in Wilmington that would be willing to volunteer also to adopt a section of road to help with the cleanup. But I'd hate to pay our public works folks to do this because they aren't exactly the lowest wage earners in the bucket. It's better if we can get more volunteers, but maybe public works could supervise. I think most of us have been on the expressways when we've seen a crew of IDOT people picking up trash. I don't know if those are all IDOT employees or if some of them are in fact community service workers, but every spring I see them along 55 because it's just such a trash dump. It's unbelievable. So I'm willing to try to spearhead something in the
Good.
public works.
Thank you. Member Ogala.
Thank you. I think this goes beyond the dump area. And we have to look into seeing what we can do to notify the trash haulers in Will County that come to Will County or within Will County that provide services to villages, and that they need to do a better job, because like Mr. Butler said, I see it happen. My road, which I live on Will Center Road in Will Township, I never had garbage. I pick up garbage on my road every single week because garbage is blowing out of their garbage trucks. This didn't happen. We had different haulers out that way. They've all been bought out by other groups, and these bigger groups are just negligent. So I'm not sure what the county can do, but I'd like if, maybe our chief of staff can look into and discuss with our state's attorney as to say, hey, what can we do to notify these trash haulers that they need to do a better job of keeping their garbage in the truck? Because I have things like styrofoam out by me. I live on a farm. I don't generate styrofoam, neither do my neighbors. But there's styrofoam all up and down the road. I picked that up just the other day. So this is a concern of mine. I know other residents in the rural area, we see that because they're running through my area to go down south to a different dump. But around this, we need to see what haulers are coming in the area and make them cover their trucks up somehow. They can't keep blowing all over, and the residents have to, one, pay for it and see it when it's their responsibility to keep the garbage in their trucks. So maybe we can do that.
Maybe we can even talk to the sheriff's office and see if they can up some enforcement on that. Member Logan.
Thank you. So I had an opportunity to speak with the fire chief of Joliet, Chief Carey, probably about a month ago or so. And he went over a program that he has implemented in Joliet, and he's trying to push it out countywide, but he's run into a funding issue. So I know that Member Butler had talked about this Will County Cares program. So I'm putting forward a resolution to see if we can actually go ahead and do this. And I don't want to steal any thunder from him because he's going to be at the September public safety meeting, I believe. It should be on the agenda. But in a nutshell, this program would provide free mental health services to all 700,000 county residents with what I like, no new taxes. So I'm not going to talk anymore about this, but September's public safety meeting, the fire chief's going to be there. He's going to go over the whole program. The results are amazing, and being a former first responder and having a degree in marriage and family therapy, I cannot wait to see that we roll this out countywide. So
And
thank
is this
you.
Coordinated with Dan's?
Yes, that's what Dan mentioned during the thing, the Will County Cares.
Okay.
And I came up with CARES. It's an acronym. We all like acronyms. And I just put down crisis assistance and response for emotional support. I'm not super tied to it, but if we could actually find a name for it and run with it, I think the chief of Joliet's doing a fantastic job. So
That sounds interesting.
it's a great program. So we just got to roll it out countywide, and they just need some of our help.
Okay, excellent. Anybody else? Member Hickey, sorry.
Hi. I should have added when I shared about the landfill meeting that actually Mr. Herkey had included communication that was shared with all of the haulers that are contracted with our landfill from Mr. Tomzak that directs them to do all the things that they need to do to eliminate the waste blowing out of trucks. So I should have added that originally. I'm sorry. In brevity, I tried not to go too far.
That's fine. It's fine. I'm glad. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Any other board members? Oh, I got two. Let's go ladies first. How's that? If you don't mind. Member Ogalla.
Thank you. So I would just like to see if we could have a list of all the trash haulers that were sent that letter, because if it isn't one of the ones that's out my way, that should be given to them. And then once we've sent this letter, what's the follow-up? Because there's garbage everywhere that never used to be. And it just blows out. You follow it, it's just like a dispersing trash as it goes. So a bubble machine, you know how bubble machines blow it out? It's how the trash is blowing out. So if we could find out a list of who got that letter, and then also maybe we can give it to other haulers in the area that might not come to our dump. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Butler.
Just again, and to expand on what Member Trenier said, was that through community service, especially with the expanding age range of Medicaid, we could probably advertise that is, would comply as a work requirement for people who are looking for that funding.
Point. Member Berkowitz.
Thank you, Chair Richmond. There's another issue that I'd like to request that we either put on public safety, or I think that might be the way to start talking about it, but there appears, based on my personal experience, to be an increase in, I don't know how you would truck rage. My experience on these roadways lately, these trucks, some of the truck drivers seem to be very aggressive. They don't follow the rules of the road. They ride in the left lane all the time. And just recently on 80, I had a truck that literally almost sandwiched me between him and another semi. And it was just a fraction of an inch that I did not literally get crushed. And I fell behind this guy who drove in the left lane for miles. I even have him on video tape, and he was aggressively blocking and getting in front of people and preventing them from getting in the left lane. And I just think that it's something you look at the accidents we're having, a lot of them are involving semis. And I don't know if there's some way we can address this, but they shouldn't be parking in the third lane. They should follow the rules of the road. And they're not, there's a lot of good truck drivers out there, but we seem to have a newer generation where literally it makes it pretty scary to even get on the road today.
Well, as we all know, traffic patterns have changed and behaviors have changed over the past 20, 30, 40, 50 years. I think this is something that, we don't have oversight over. So the only oversight that we would have would be on our roads, the county roads with our county sheriff, and that. It sounds like something that you brought up is a state police matter because it's on the interstate. So what I would suggest is, maybe look into how in general we could go and address those types of things, but it would have to be at a state police level. So anything else? Announcement from Democrat leader Sherry, Member Williams. I just do have one thing that I'd like to bring up is, I know a couple months ago we brought forward something and it had to do with the local, I don't know what the exact word is, but preference for local vendors and that. I know we were going to talk about that, bring it forward, and nothing has come of that. I'd like to see us put that on whatever is the appropriate agenda. I thought so too, but I didn't want to just, so I'd like to see that on next month's agenda, the outcome or the, where we're at with that.
I thought we were told to do it.
Yeah, the bidding, local vendor preference, or I forget exactly what it was called.
I have a little bit of an update. I mean, that's why we didn't do chapter 41 today, because we made those changes on one part of the bidding process. The other part for the local, and I think our chief of staff can confirm, I think this was asked about, that we can't legally do that, but we'll just see. And chapter 41 will come next month.
So maybe we can have some discussion at ordinance and then.
I believe a written statement from the attorney was requested, the state's attorney, because there was they did not make an official statement.
All right, it looks like Chuck has some information on that then.
So I did request after the last ad hoc ordinance committee meeting, I asked the state's attorney's office for a formal opinion on that. They did deliver that opinion. I didn't put it on this week's agenda for executive committee because it was in conjunction with chapter 41, which was the responsible bidder ordinance in which it was requested. I do have it and it will be on the agenda for the next executive committee meeting. So.
Okay, thank you.
I can certainly bring it to the ad hoc. The request was in conjunction with the responsible bidder ordinance. Can you get an opinion from the state's attorney's office with regard to whether the local preference ordinance was legally viable? The state's attorney's office sent us that opinion. It said it's not legally viable, but it was in conjunction with the responsible bidder ordinance because it was pulled from this agenda for this committee. I can submit it either before the ad hoc ordinance or I can bring it to the next executive committee
I
meeting.
think ordinance is expecting chapter 41 to come back to us just with the final corrections, and then
Right.
we would move it forward from there.
And
That's what I was referring
And
to.
the intent, Mr. Chair, was to bring that opinion from the state's attorney's office in conjunction with chapter 41.
Okay. So is that something that you can send that opinion out to everybody so they have a
Yeah, I
chance to
can-
read
I
prior
can
to
send
the
it,
ordinance
yeah.
committee? I think that would be probably fair for your team. Okay. No need for executive session? No need for executive session. All right, next up is approval of the county board agenda. I need a motion to amend the county board agenda to add all items approved out of the executive committee today.
So discussion?
Yeah.
So I just want to be clear that that resolution is going to be on this agenda that we're going to approve. The one that I asked if we were moving forward for the CARES.
No. No,
Oh, that's just for committee then?
it's coming to your committee
Okay,
it's coming to your committee next month.
okay,
And then, it will move to the county board.
okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, so we had a motion and a second. Do I have a previous? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is a motion to approve the county board agenda as amended. Can I get? All in favor? Any opposed? All right, last item up for today is our next meeting is scheduled for September 11th, 2025. And can I get a motion to adjourn? All in favor? We are adjourned.